have not done. It's my first time doing commentary for a top 128, so I'm excited. I'm really excited. What kind of start do you think we're going to get today? What kind of item? What starting weapon are you hoping for, Futon?
I'm looking for the windfish.
It's not a weapon.
I'm sorry, but the uncle has it, or he's looking for it. I'm sure he's going to hand it to me. I'm thinking we're going to get the Cane of Burna.
Burna start? Okay.
It's a little blue, fish-like.
Burna's not... It's not too bad for getting through the entirety of Escape. The biggest issue, the biggest concern I see is when you're trying to farm bombs. That's where you have the higher chance of running out of magic. Of course, there is some magic to gather along the way, so it's not too bad, but you gotta use it sparingly. Oh, game 2, 10 bombs. Great start.
Even though they have 15, the 10 is a lie.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about getting a bomb start. Well, never mind. So much. Well, that's actually a really good scenario then. It's like, all right, I got more than enough bombs to get me through like the whole beginning. Kakariko, back of this cave, mini Moldering Cave, Sasarala, all that stuff. Plus, I have a sword. You might as well just have given him a sword.
I'm a little disappointed. I'm gonna go commentary something else.
Okay, yeah, it's over. Ripperino. I see that happen a lot though. Maybe not as much, but it always seems like you're gonna get at least 2 weapons at the beginning in the opening sequence of the game.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed though, because there's really cool things you can do with bombs throughout these rooms, and well, other weapons as well. So finding the sword kind of just takes that away.
I think the best. I had someone send me a seed. It was the greatest start ever. Link's house was a sword. Uncle had a sword. So Master Sword, like within the first minute of the game, is it's pretty good. It's pretty top.
It's no tempered. Come on, man.
Well, yeah, you're right. Still better than Fighter Sword.
Needs to farm bombs here. Although, do you still kill occasional guards for the chance to get like a 20 drop, or?
I mean, I might kill like some snakes on the way, but maybe not the guards, unless they get in the way.
The rats. I like to try to get like a good 40 rupees quickly.
I mean, the nice thing is, unless they get some sort of items along the way that prevent them, there is always the idea of Houlihan. Generally, you like to have rupees going into Kakariko just so you have enough to pay for the bottle vendor the first time you're there.
With bombs, they get the guaranteed 50 from the well and Blind's house, so I guess they only need 50 more for the bottle vendor, which I think they can manage that without any drops.
Look at that simultaneous kill from both players and finding the map in Zelda's cell. Now we make the long walk back. You know, it'd be nice if you always got the mirror in that. No, I'm just kidding. But those those scenes where you do get mirror in like the beginning of Escape is it saves you so much time.
Yeah, I've had a 545 or so, which I know is like a good chunk slower than what you can really do with a mirror, but I felt amazing.
Yeah,
if I can feel amazing on a 545 with a mirror, I can't imagine what top end players like these can do with it.
Dude, if you get like mirror and boots at the beginning of the scene, it's a legendary start.
Bomb start and sword as well, like this. You don't need to farm anything. You can bomb it, put in the wall right away.
And then 300 rupees in the sanctuary, like perfect, easy.
You're just gone.
Yeah, the one thing I've noticed a lot with at least just playing this game mode, is everyone pretty much makes the exact same route at the beginning of the game. You do your escape, you do your Kakariko, because Kakariko usually has a couple items, or it's super stacked, one of the two. The amount of times I've like entered Kakariko, or entered Dark World once finishing up Kakariko, it's low, but when the times it does happen, they stand out quite a bit.
Yeah. What's interesting too is, unlike open mode where people are always torn if they want to go to Kakariko from south or north, it's pretty much always the same direction here, even if it isn't a big difference to save and quit out.
And I think the only reason people would route differently, like doing South Shore before Kakariko, is they're hoping to find the flute or maybe a bottle or hammer plus mushroom or powder, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Kind of make their trip to Kakariko even more valuable. And we got a very valuable shovel. So that alone kind of makes me want to route in Houlihan, because then you would do Houlihan. You can grab the bombs at South of Grove, though they're still at max bomb, so you wouldn't really need it. But then they could check the shovel spot on their way to south of Kakariko, which I also like because it allows you to check the maze race item without, like... It's a little bit easier to come from the south, because you don't have to, like, do the 50-50. Oh, should I just go ahead and go into the house and just bank on it being an item I need?
That was a nice room there from Mikan. Wow. Dodged both rats and killed them both immediately. Not really much to show for it, though.
Yo, there's that $50, and we
Okay,
got
so
some
I
more
would
bombs.
not Houlihan anymore.
Yeah, Houlihan is now dead.
So decisions are gone. It's pretty much straightforward now. Now the decision is, do you check egg or lumberjack, which a lot of people like to avoid until they get boots.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes when you get that knowledge, and if it ends up being a required item, you kind of route around it. But without the required items to actually obtain the item, it's kind of eh. So I still like checking it just because I like having as much information as I possibly can. And when you have information sitting right there in front of you, it's kind of hard to say no to it.
Yeah, and plus if you get like a good like tier 1 20s, you just pull the crap out of it. On the way out, you get like 4 20 drops out of the trees and you're just done.
It might be
I've even like when you get the tree from the little thief hole, you go in there and you come out. I farm that like 3 times or so. I'm just rich. And it's like, okay, done.
I mean, that's the nice thing is like if you're short on bombs or you're short on cash, it's always good checking, tree pulls. And we got 5 rupees from the bush crab, so that's a little bit of extra money there. We are seeing a route divergence with Mikan just going straight to Lost Woods. Spooty's finding the heart piece at Lumberjack, and as far as we know, Aga is not happening, at least not yet. We'll see. There's some mushroom. So there's 2 fetch quests.
Hopefully they at least give them something, or they have like a quicker way to search them, because with no boots, no flute, it's going to be a long trek to hopefully get something out of it.
Mm-hmm. At this point, you kind of, with Kana Samari and Mushroom, you're hoping for that hammer already. Like, that'd be the perfect setup for the fake powder.
Yeah, and with the hammer, getting it so quickly, you're looking for just a pearl. So it's like the key item they want right now.
Fake powder is such a... It's one of those, like, it's like one of the game breaker glitches. Or kind of like... If one person does it, it ends up being, like, required. That's it.
Yeah,
it's so hard to make up for that.
It seems so minor, but the second one person benefits off of it, the other person's in a world of trouble.
The best item I've ever gotten from it was the Titan Mitts one time. But then it was completely, like, squashed when the powder was sitting in Tower of Hera. Like, immediately, like, I got it, like, not too long after. I was like, oh, okay, well, it still saved me an extra trip up Death Mountain, but I'm still mad.
Yeah, for me, every time I do it, it's, oh yeah, Mushroom wasn't getting Tower anyways, it didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You waste your time or the powder.
Ah, darn it.
It was like an entire waste of my time. They get a lot of money so far, this is kind of nice. Not that they're going to buy bombs, but it's like, you kind of just want, I find at least, you want as much money as you can get early in Kakariko so that you have the option to go straight to Zora if you want a fake flipper.
Oh, finding a bottle in Kakariko is especially nice. It's just one less check you have to worry about coming back to. Because it's just one of those things that, like...
Oh, there it is.
You never know when you're going to come back to Kakariko, so if you find bottle, like, immediately in South Shore, you're like, I should go back and check that, but it could just be nothing.
Yep. I'm very happy to see 300 there. I wonder if Mikan feels the same way.
I'm sure. Even, it's just nice to have, if you can get all the money you need to check Bottle Vendor, Zora, chess game, digging game, and pod all within like the first few minutes of the game. Like that's pretty good. It's a good thing to have.
We're a lamp away from that Aghanim now.
Ugh. Usually if you have like an Aga seed, you'll find a fire rod too. I've noticed that a lot. It's like, here, have a fire rod for some free firepower.
I typically get the hook shot, and they just try to make you go around to the top to Thieves Town.
That's one of the things I'm looking for. If it's leading towards like an Agaseed, I'll be like, okay, where's my hook shot? It has to be somewhere around here, obviously.
Yeah, it's just so common that it tries to send you over that gap when you're getting an Aghanim seed. Sometimes it's in pod, but usually you'll get it beforehand.
Yeah, finding the flippers in the back of the tavern. And was that the silver arrows on the library? Looked like it to me. I'll double check. And it
10.
is not.
Just 10.
Okay. It was so quick, and they look very similar. And there's a
Yeah.
5 capacity upgrade, so none of this stuff amounted to anything. Now the question is, after Mikan checks the shovel spot, I wonder if he's just going to keep walking or if he'll still save and quit. Ooh, that gold bee. That's unfortunate. Both these players could have sold that bee. Got 100 rupees from the bottle vendor.
Yeah, that would have been a good choice too, because you're kind of too far away from considering Zora right now. You need like a big drop of cat. Oh,
There it is. There's that hookshot. Ooh. Now, here's the thing.
Kind of concerning though.
It is. With that in hand and plus the glove, do you start to consider the sequence break up to Death Mountain?
It looks pretty good, but you're missing hammer for the full clear of the mountain, or mirror, either one. So I would still be a little concerned that it's not worth it, but the second I get one of the other two, I might consider it.
Yeah, the only thing you're missing out on is Tower of Hera, but sometimes Paradox Cave is pretty hype, but I like the play of continuing going down here. Oh, sometimes that block there is a little tricky. I think if you're like
you have to hit right or left after that happens too. Sometimes it'll bring you back in.
Oh, and we got Spooty going for the Aghanim play very, very early. It's one of those plays where you lose a little bit of time if it's nothing, but if it ends up being something incredible, wow, there's the Moon Pearl.
Pearl that kind of makes Aghanim very close to being extremely useful. I kind of like Spooty's play though, because what he's doing here is he's actually getting rupees while he's at it, which means Zora will 100% be possible for him. Whereas Mikan, the way he's going, it's going to be kind of a toss-up if he gets the rupees for it. Which is why I really like what Spooty's doing here.
Well,
although
stun prize, 20 rupees, so that's going to be a nice time save for Mikan over what Spooty's doing. Which is just unfortunate, not taking a look and seeing what that stun prize is, because you never know if he'll pay out.
Yeah, he's gonna hope for Aghanim paying off. Oh no, he's not even gonna go check it at all.
So that was just a play to get some rupees. Pretty smart. Quick check. Let's see if there were rupees in Mini Molder and Cave all along. And no, just a big 20, but...
Now, do you farm on the way to Ice Rod, or do you go straight to Zora first?
I'd farm on the way to Ice Rod. A lot of times I'll notice players will try and put off Ice Rod Cave until they get, like, boots, flute. Like, if Mikan had boots right now, he would go straight to Ice Rod Cave. But at the same time, like, we don't know if we're ever going to get the flute, because we don't know if Maya is a pendant or not. I guess Mikan will have to farm some of the Zoras on the way there.
Yeah, he might opt to swim up to Ice Rod as well, but I have not seen that very often, so it's
that's not a very common route.
Yeah.
Just a heart piece from the hobo. See you later, dude.
Spooty getting a little bullied by the mold worms. Two of them were right in front of him on the little path, and they kept dodging them. It was kind of comical almost.
Was he
very unlucky?
I missed it. Was he like doing the hook shot horizontally?
He was vertically hookshotting up at them.
Okay.
They were just dodging side to side somehow in that tight little space.
And I know trying to hit him horizontally can be a little tricky. Oh, and Mikan is going to swim down to check Ice Rock Cave. Let's see what SpootyBiscuit does. Looks like he's going to go check it as well. It's one of those things because it's like, it's so out of the way that you don't know when you're ever going to go back to check it. It's nice to just kind of clear an entire area at once and then never have to worry about coming back here ever again.
Plus the crabs are a little easier to kill with, or we're just going to skip stunning them.
Well, he might get money in Ice Rock Cave. Spooty's got to be a little careful. He's down to 2 hearts. That's one little hug from one of these crabs, and you're done so. Hey, big 20. So now he only has to farm one of them. Perfect.
There we go. And there's plenty of crabs on the way, so I'm sure he'll get it done. Because you don't want to farm the Zoras because they take a few slashes. Although we're not going to fight any crabs, so we are going to, slowly beat up a Zora.
Well, he might still be banking on Waterfall Cave having stuff, and Spooty bailing out. I wonder if he's going to just hop in the water over here by Lake Hylia and then swim back down. You know,
I believe
it
it's
seems.
faster when checking the bridge.
Oh yeah, because he did not go up to Hobo. It's so nice when you have the boots and you can like set up the water walk to go check Hobo.
Yeah.
Bug net.
Hey, look,
Big 20.
He doesn't have to farm at all.
Perfect. See, he knew all along. He was planning ahead.
We should farm another 100 or so that when he goes through Aghanim, he has options, because clearly that's where they're going next. Or the fact that they have Eastern and probably a sequence break coming up. See, they take 4 slashes. It's kind of miserable.
Said that. Ooh. Oh, well, there's our Dark World access. Wow. Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, unless Hammer is at, like, Pyramid Fairy or something, they have access to all of the lower Dark World.
Yeah, and they can still sequence break past that, because they also have flippers to swim around.
Mm-hmm. So, nice find for Mikan. Spooty not going to be too far behind, so both players going for that same play. Similar routing. Nice blue mail as well. It's especially good when you're down, when you're only at 6 hearts going into the Dark World and just got a fighter sword. Though the hookshot will kind of keep you sane in the Dark World. So here's the question, though. Is there something over in East Palace area? And when will we ever go there? A lot of times, you know, players will just kind of bank on finding the bow before they head over into that direction, and especially with Eastern Palace being a pendant.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough call. I'm
a
little weird on that, because when I see it as a pendant, I think I can go there now and never care, because I most probably won't have anything.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a good chance that he won't, but at the same time, without the lamp, it's like, well, then where am I actually supposed to go? See, this is funny. Both players falling for that. That bush is actually fake. It's not really there. That, for whatever reason, it's kind of like how you can't hook shot pots that have bunny beams under them, like the one in Beast Town. Except it's not like that at all. That one just doesn't work for some reason. I don't know why. Alright, Mikan heading in there. Into Village Valkis will hopefully get that map check immediately. Yep, and we do have green pendant T-Rock, blue pendant Meyer. 5 and 6 are Skull and Ice Palace.
If it was not Ice Palace, that was the dream every step of the way. Skullwoods is a wonderful dungeon. Ice isn't so nice, but it's not so bad. I mean,
a Go Mode Ice is pretty great.
Yes.
Now, if there's a hammer in Ice Palace, that's less great.
It could mean that the Pyramid Fairy is entirely useless and that crystal is not going to be obtained until the end. Though we're pretty close to being able to clear ice already. You're just going to be unhappy doing it with the fighter sword.
I mean, that's the thing, is like, they have well, actually, no, they need to find a fire source before I throw out such wild accusations, and there's a nice half magic find. Means he has to go all the way around, but I wouldn't complain too much.
Yeah, definitely like getting half magic. You got the cape too, so it means you're probably going to be safe for the rest of the entire season. You got blue mail and a cape, half magic. You're not going to die anymore, unless you choose to death warp somewhere.
Yeah, and I would also be already comfortable if I just got like Master Sword Silvers for Ganon. I'm like, I got half magic and cape, so I don't have to worry about it. And there's our 3rd bottle with the fairy in it, and both items in Skullwoods immediately. So that is it for this dungeon. Just got to come back later with that fire rod to take out Mothula. That is extremely convenient. It's nice to get that done. Don't have to check anything else.
It's a good feeling.
Mm-hmm. And both players taking the exact same route, so they'll be able to clear it quickly as well.
Yeah, some people like to skip on the skull check entirely, which would have felt pretty bad, because if you skipped on that, sure, you wouldn't have gotten generally not important things, but really we'll have to do all that again anyways, so it's going to waste time. Whereas this way you're already set. Ooh, Mikan opting. It's just rupees. Maybe it's not worth it. You're kind of at the end of your rupee game here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just needs enough to get into pod, and then I think it's $20 for the chess game, and then $80 for the digging game.
It's 30-80. And then
30-80? Okay.
Dwarves. So he needs a total of 230 rupees left.
And then 110 for pod as well.
I was included.
I know. He did the math.
Well, he's gotten enough for Village of Outcasts, so I'm sure he'll find the rupees he needs for pod. Plus, he's got the hookshot stun prize, which he's very aware of. He's done a lot of farming on that.
I've been seeing a lot of Crystal Thieves Town lately, which is great, except when you don't have the hammer. And I feel like making the play into Thieves Town without the hammer in version 29, or maybe even version 28, is much safer than like previous versions, especially with the whole small key can be in the big chest scenario that can play out. Because there's like just a higher chance that you don't actually need that hammer at all for Thieves Town now than there were in previous versions. The amount of times I've gone to Thieves Town without the hammer and there's like a required flute or required medallion in that chest. And of course that's the last thing I go back to do. It's too high, dang it. Man, this is a very unhealthy seed.
It is, but I still think they're gonna be perfectly okay with the blue mail. It's like they have 12 hearts.
Well,
it's like they have one
heart.
Less.
That's the worst, man. That happens way too often. Ooh.
Well, that doesn't look good. It has no purpose right now, aside from desert.
You know desert's gonna have something.
You can't even clear it. You still don't have a light source.
Oh, you can. Alright. Someone in chat did say that you can clip that pot. That's the pot I was talking about, but you can actually hookshot it if you clip the corner of it. So, you know, you learn something every day, I guess. Man, if only they had mirror, and they could have done like Skullwood's check to mirror to pedestal check. Because early pedestal check is nice, but at the same time, with Meyer and T-Rock being pendants, I'm kind of already writing off the pedestal.
Yeah,
anytime I see pendant T-Rock, I'm like, that's not gonna happen. There's nothing there.
I don't think there's much that it can't have. It can't be bow. It can't be hammer.
Both can't be fire rod.
Medallions are covered. It can't be fire rod or ice rod. So I think it's already done. It could be the mirror? Question mark?
It could be the mirror, but that'd be about it. Yeah. Or, you know, something a little bit...
of boots, I guess, but that's technically not even required.
Chances are a little slim. Right now, chances of either of these players taking a death and using that fairy is... Well, Mikan's finding some nice little heart grabs here along the way. Both these players got to be feeling a little spooked out. Of course, you know, if worse comes to worse, they could always just throw on that cape and just chill with that half magic for a bit.
Yeah, they've got a lot of health to keep themselves alive. So it looks like Mikan's gonna safely walk through the hellway here.
It's
perfect
smart.
Hellway.
It's super smart. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh, Mikan, please. You had it, and then you lost it. How could you do this? You know, I'm very curious. This might be one of those seeds where both these players are going to be kind of following the exact same route for a good chunk of the seed, and then it's going to come down to, you know, who makes some pendant dungeon dive, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Spooty. All right, he gets through.
Well, we do have a lot written off already because of the way the pendants are aligned. They still have a lot to get.
So I'm assuming here's the problem though. We're still waiting to see about, or no, that's the small key for the room with the chest. So it's already in play, right? Wait, I'm confused. Why is there a key difference?
I believe Spooty skipped. Wait, no, he couldn't have. I'm also confused. Maybe he didn't grab this one yet.
Oh, he doesn't have hammer, so he probably skipped the one that was by the blind door.
That's what I was thinking.
Because he was banking on not finding hammer down here, which is
a questionable choice to make when you're in that room.
Honestly, I think it's a nice minor time save. The chances of hammer being here are so slim. There are silvers in there, but unless I'll have to get a map check because I haven't been counting items, but. You know, it could just be a map or compass in that chest anyway.
Yeah. Hopefully he picks it up on the way back in case there is something there. Playing it safe here, which is probably smart. Don't want to die right before you grab blind.
Alright, I think it's a 50-50 map or compass on blind, and We won't be seeing this dungeon ever again if it's an item. And that's the thing about Randomizer, man. You gotta just... all these little minor time saves, they add up over time. But the reverse can be also said. All these little time losses can add up. And we've had plenty of races decided by mere seconds.
Good fight. Not the perfect script, but I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Ooh, bailed out. All right. Yeah, and you know, Mikan had a little bit of a lead going into this dungeon. Just that one little walk up and down that hallway was enough for Spooty to kind of make up a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Both players taking a little bit of damage on blind. Spooty having to switch to his cape because he's down a little bit of health.
Yeah, it didn't look like he knew the part 2 of the script, but the cape, it doesn't really matter.
I'm sure he knew. I think it was because he got hit.
Oh, he started on the wrong side for phase 2, so I was a little confused by that.
I mean, we're not all amazing NMG runners like you, Futon.
All those NMG hours.
I gotta get that sub 90 so that you have to do one. Is that still on the table?
Yeah, that's on the table still.
Okay, cool.
Wow, there's the money you need for Kiki right there.
Yeah, that's the one nice thing about the game. The chances of getting big 20s are pretty high. Of course, they still have a few checks along the way. Get the shield. Okay, good.
He was like, I don't want that.
Maybe. I don't know, maybe. Great. Mikan gonna go ahead and grab the frog, take him on a little bitty baby tour. The whole section of doing, you know, blacksmith without the mirror is kind of a pain in the butt, but
yeah, fortunately, the way he's gonna route it is gonna be pretty much go to Hype Cave and save and quit.
But this
Spooty
means
wasn't
that
as fortunate. He didn't get any money from the digging game, so he's kind of low.
Ooh, that's unfortunate. Well, they do have the shovel if they want to dig up some cash.
Hey.
Oh, there's a Master Sword. Nice. So all of a sudden that book could be a little bit more useful for later. We still don't have the means to check either of the tablets. Still need a mirror and a hammer.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. Wait, they could jump down, swim up around, and then head up into pod / catfish area if they really felt like it, instead of saving quitting out of Pipe Cave.
Yeah, that is an option. I feel like
they're
that's
going to be doing
extra work.
Yeah, they might do the north route eventually anyways, so that doesn't seem worth it. And the north route gets you closer to starting at catfish.
I feel like most players are just going to try and never do catfish and hope for the best. Who knows? We might find a hammer in here. Perfect. Okay, now I would definitely go for the pyramid check.
Yeah, I might even... no, I might save on pod. We don't have the bow.
Well, the thing with pod is then
you have the frog already.
Yeah, you'd have to bail on your good friend the frog. Oh man, Spooty trying to get the item from the generous guy and actually picking up his bomb and thus stopping it from blowing up the wall.
Yeah, unfortunately he threw it a little too early so it didn't hit the wall and stay there.
Yo, this would have been the perfect seed for there to be an item in the big chest in Thieves Town. So it's like, oh, if I had just gone to Hype Cave before diving Thieves Town, oh, I would have routed it perfectly.
That would be a crazy fool's gamble to go all the way around without a hammer.
I mean, you have the flippers.
See what Spooty's doing.
He is wasting his magic so that he can do that fancy powderless glitch.
Let's see if that pays off.
Just a green rupee. And it looks like Mikan is going to go for the whole catfish play.
Yeah, I really doubt this is a pot play, because you do have the frog. Yeah, we're going to catfish. He actually might come back, hookshot around, and walk it to check on nothing. Never mind, he's saving quick. He could get the mirror out of catfish and make that thing I was stupidly saying true.
What, to go check like Graveyard Ledge or something?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
Definitely
this
not
puts Spooty in a pretty... He takes the lead back. I don't know if he... There's really no lead at the beginning of the game, but he takes the lead if there's nothing here. This is a pretty long check.
Yeah, this is a walk you don't want to be doing unless it's got something, and kind of unlikely. You have a lot of locations left.
So the cool thing what Spooty is doing is he wastes all of his magic, and for whatever reason, if you use the Canis Samaria and then switch to the mushroom, or even powder if you have no magic but you still have the powder, somehow it tricks the game into thinking that you do have powder. So you'll still like throw the sprinkles and get the item from Batcave. Not paying out this time. Well, $50 is still a payout, but not the payout you kind of wanted.
It purchases him access to pod eventually.
True. He actually did need that money. Looks like he's gonna go ahead and probably he's gonna go up to Death Mountain, but he might be checking Agnes or Lumberjack Cave as well while he's over here.
Nope.
Nope. All right.
Lumberjack is for suckers.
So
I'm a sucker apparently, so I check it all the time.
Mikan a little bit late to switch over to Cape, so he's gonna lose a little bit of time waiting for his magic to drain, or it's gonna work out perfectly. But yeah, that long check all the way to Catfish is swinging this seed a little bit into SpootyBiscuit's favor. Let's see what kind of shenanigans he's going to find up here on Death Mountain. The nice thing is with Hookshot and Titan Mitts in hand, he can do everything up here. And with Hammer, he can potentially do Tower of Hera. It depends on if it's basement locked, if the fire source is required to complete it.
Yep. And it's going to be probably where they need to be going eventually. Wherever Lamp is the ticket in. It might just be on Sahashula's hut.
This is another interesting play. I've seen players do this a little bit, or lately, where they don't even go up and check like Spec Cave or anything like that. Spectacle Rock, Spectacle Cave. In this scenario, you can only get one item and get eyes on another item. The only thing is, how do you route this? Do you go back and do Spiral Cave? Do you do Spiral Cave now? After he does Tower of Hera, he has to make a decision of, do I do Spiral Cave or do I check Spectacle Cave?
Yeah, and the interesting part as well is you want to always come back to this end because you need to get into the Dark World, and with no mirror, you don't want to be save and quitting by coming in here first and doing it again. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of an odd sequence here, but it's kind of awkward no matter how you look at it. There are a lot of 8-bomb drops on those mini mold worms. I think 50% of their drops are those.
What a generous seed. Oh, look, there's the powder. And the ice rod, which we don't need either of those.
Is very not important.
We hope. It is green pendency rock, so you never know. Now, and Spooty, unfortunately, missing the bomb jump, getting a little bit too close to the edge, so he's going to have to walk around. And the other thing is they do have Spike Cave in play as well. Though with 0 magic, they do have a green potion. So there's that.
That is true, though. They might opt to, or Spooty might opt to go straight to Hera after the Light World checks here and jump back down. Or maybe he'll go right first, clear that out, and then save and quit and come back up the mountain again. Check the 2 he missed, and then Spike Cave as well.
Oh, get the boomerang! Oh. Oh, he's gonna do... You know, he might be... Maybe he's skipping out on Hera, because at this point you might be thinking that he'll just hop down and then go straight into the Dark World and check all those things.
Yeah.
It's a safe... it's fairly safe unless there's nothing in the Dark World. You're kind of hoping you find a mirror or something so you can mirror back to go check.
Yeah. He could also be hedging against the fact that Hera has a small chance of being lamp locked or fire rod locked right now.
Thing is, you know, he got up here without the lamp, so the chances of lamp being up here are relatively slim compared to finding it elsewhere. Let's see if this purple chest play is going to work out at all for Mikan. Yes, it is! Oh. It's convenient, but that actually... Yeah, lamp can now be up in Death Mountain.
Spooty's going back up again. He might be going to the T-Rock portal, but I'm pretty sure he's going to Hera.
I wonder if Mikan's going to route in... Well, no, probably not. I mean, with that flute now, if he really wants to, he can activate it and then come back and check if he was going to go dive into Desert Palace. Though I still would advise against that without a fire source. But if in this case, if like the flute leads to mirror or something, that would be huge for Mikan, just because, you know, players like to put off... Well, they already did the hard part about Blacksmith Purple Chest without mirror, so... I don't know, Futon.
Nothing from Ether either. So this mountain has been a little, I don't know, boring.
Yeah, so far, pretty laid back Death Mountain.
Yeah, Hare's got the mirror, I'm sure of it.
That's kind of how it goes sometimes. It's either all or nothing. I mean, they did get Powder and Ice Rod, which is pretty.
Powder will keep them alive if they absolutely need to, and the Ice Rod will scare them. Please don't make it a T-Rock seed.
Alright, well, as far as we know, the lamp is not required to fit. Well, we know it's not required to complete Tower of Hera. We don't know if there's still something in the basement. No, nice little spin to take out both those guys and put you in a comfortable position to hit the switch and walk over.
Let's see where Mikan goes with his flute. He could go even check on Meyer, which looks like the play. Get some knowledge. No, he's going to Desert. No, he's going to check the ledge. Damn it.
It's interesting that it went ahead and checked that since he doesn't have the mirror or anything. Ooh, Ether.
Could
It's
be
pretty close to Ether Tablet.
Meyer.
That might be. Now, of course, it is a pendant, but you never know.
Oh.
It is our ticket into Meyer. Oh, baby. Alright, well, now I'm thinking that mirror's in Meyer. It's gotta be, right?
Oh my.
Ooh, there's the boots! Okay, that is huge. It does add a few extra checks, so now he'll be able to check King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks right now. And he just needs to find a fire source from one of those two, and then Desert is completely in play.
Yeah, he's also going to be really happy when he goes up to the mountain as well, because as we saw Spooty, he had to go through a lot of hole drops after checking stuff, whereas Mikan will just be able to bonk across it all and not waste any time.
Nice smoldering fight from Spooty, getting his second crystal. And the other nice thing is finding both the items in the top of Tower of Hera, so that basement is going to have a map, and thus not be required.
He just picked up the map. He's gonna have a compass.
No, it's small key. It's a small key.
Okay.
Compass was on the floor.
Answer, yes.
But yeah, that is really mean of this seed to make you walk Purple Chest all the way over to get the flute just to get the boots. And just a big 20 in spec. And it looks like Mikan will be making his way.
Mikan, you have flute.
Use the flute.
Oh, we're going to check Lumberjack.
I thought he already checked this. Or no, he didn't. He skipped it. Yeah, okay. Oh, right. I got that mixed up. And piece of heart.
Okay, he knows he has the flute. We're good.
Alright, so all we got was what? Powder, Ice Rod, Ether, and a crystal up here. That's it. So let's see if Dark World has anything up here. And it looks like Spooty's going to be setting up for the T-Rock portal, just in case Ether is also the one for T-Rock. The question is, would you... I would dive T-Rock without a Fire Rod. That's an easy play. Could be just a quick in and out, real quick.
And you never know when you're coming back up this mountain after how much time he's put into it, so...
Yeah, he has been up here a very long time, and it is the Bombos medallion, so no T-Rock as of right now. I think it's a relatively safe play because without Fire Rod, there's only so much you can do. It also kind of depends on what the seed gives you. If it gives you, like, a small key, like, the first chest has to be a small key in order to progress at all.
Yeah, it's very unlikely that you're either suddenly going to need it or you're going to get locked out after a little bit, so...
Super Bunny Cave was a bust, so it's going to come down to what's in Hookshot Cave, and if there's nothing in there, then this is going to feel a bit of a time waste. I mean, you did get the crystal from Tower of Hera, and we do know Ether is needed to go into Mire, but with Pendant with Meyer being appended, it's not really that valuable.
Yeah, it won't feel too bad until he learns that Mikan did all this with boots.
Yeah. All right, 2 more chests left. What else do we got? There's the meat. Oh, that's good.
That really helps a lot, because the options were Ice Palace or a pot or Eastern Dive.
Well, with that
No, it's not even Ice Palace, my bad.
All of Swamp Palace now. So that's on the table. A few more overworld checks as well. The thing is, like, it's so hard to make that play of, like, I'm just going to go straight to the Dark World and hope I find the mirror, and then I'll go over and do Tower of Hera. But, you know, if you had done that, you would have saved a bit of time.
Yeah.
But nobody's going to make that play, unless they're crazy.
Yeah. Pedestal is 100% guaranteed not possible anymore, because Boots and Mirror were our options, and that's gone. They also have Master Sword already, too.
Alright, Spike Cave, what do you got for us? So I guess Death Mountain wasn't completely a bust.
Nope, but
Mirror
sure didn't feel great.
Mirror was pretty important. Yeah, Mikan gonna be saving quite a bit of time in here, with Boots in hand, being able to do this a lot quicker.
Yeah, it's gonna be fairly likely that Spooty doesn't even go pick up his flute for a long time, because he might go into the swamp next.
Well, here's the other thing, is if he does do Purple Chest, he'll be able to route in Bombos, you know, K45 or whatever you call it. And if either those places have like a progressive item, you know, Mikan's probably going to be putting that off for a little bit longer since he already made those choices. Yeah. Though, if he gets the mirror, he'll likely go mirror, Bombos, K45 or something like that.
Pretty curious where Spooty's heading here. He might be getting the purple chest to head along towards the north end of the graveyard so that he can save and quit it out. It seems like a really long walk to do that.
Yeah.
Definitely seems to be where he's going though.
It's really hard to route in Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, it's just interesting to me that he's got Swamp fully available, but I guess people hate going into Swamp when it's not Go mode.
Yeah, I mean, but the chances of finding what you need for Go mode, because they still need what? Bow and Fire Rod? Oh, that's only 2 items. It's not too bad. But yeah, now that we know where the flute and Boots are, Spooty's not going to be too far away from getting those.
Yeah, he's gonna
go get those, yeah. Oh, and the nice thing here is that Mikan will be able to hookshot across and then bonk back across.
Yeah, that really took a lot of time out of Spooty when he was here. It's really looking like Boots might be the key to the seed, even though they're going to be fairly early for both players.
Yeah, and with that flute at Purple Chest, it kind of puts the lamp even later into the sequence. Maybe. Potentially. Who knows? It could be at Sahasrara, for all we know.
This is even more interesting that Spooty isn't even going north to Graveyard. He's actually still going south.
Well, with Mirror in hand, he might hope to find the Boots, and then he could do all 3 of those at once.
That's true.
Just bombs. Mikan switching to Cape, but doesn't have the magic, and just 1 slash and takes him out. The panic switch to Cape. Like, oh, I don't want to get knocked down. Yeah, Mikan now grabs his 2nd crystal. Let's see what... He's going to be heading to the Dark World next. And then probably doing the same thing, finishing out with Spike Cave just to clear everything up here. So yeah, unless Bo is in, like, Laser Bridge again or something... I can't really see us going into T-Rock at all. Now, who knows? It could be find Bombos, and then, you know, do Ice Palace with Bombos to get the Fire Rod, and then Fire Rod gets you into T-Rock, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it could be something awful. It could also just be like Fire Rod and T-Rock.
Yeah, it could also be that. Spooty now making the swamp play. There are 6 items in here, and it's a relatively long dungeon.
Did he check Bombo's tablet earlier, or did he just not go there at all?
Yeah, he didn't check it. He might do it after. I would assume he's going to do it after Swamp, because he can do Bombos and then immediately go check Agonist Cave.
That's true.
Yeah, the question in Swamp Palace is he going to check left side?
The amount of items he thinks he needs, it might be up there.
All these enemies dropping 8 bombs. Like, you should never be out of bombs in this seed. There's item number 1, just a heart piece. I don't know, I think I would go... I usually always go straight to Argus in Swamp Palace, just in general. Because, I mean, especially when you're 2 items away. Well, for him, he's 3 items away. Well, actually, we don't know if boots are actually required. We haven't been to Desert yet.
Yeah, I'd feel confident that it's a boots required thing. At least in his mind, he'd probably just check it off as required anyways. The one thing here, though, is with all the routing Spooty's doing, every second he continues on this path, he's going to be a lot farther away from finding those boots, so he's going to lose even more time.
Yeah.
But
that's just it's just the nature of it.
I mean, if he finds both bow and fire out of here, he's not going to care that he lost the boots for that long.
Mm-hmm. Like, Mikan wanted to save and quit out, but he was like, I should go to Spike Cave. Ugh.
Well, it's a curse either way, though, because if he finds both items he needs, he might not even look for boots anymore, so he might never go there.
Well, the nice thing is I can't imagine someone not checking Mire Shed.
Yeah, he might do that as a... I'll check it while I'm mirroring into Desert.
Yeah, exactly. It's
but
like literally right next to each
pendant,
other.
He might not.
I'm kind of thinking like Checkerboard's got to have something at this point, right?
There's just so many options, I can't even imagine.
Alright, boots in hand, flute, mirror. Where are you going to, Mikan? You gonna go straight to Swamp, or you gonna do some more overworld checks? That's the thing, is like if you've done a couple overworld checks that led to nothing, like he did Catfish. He did do Purple Chest, which led to some stuff. Some good stuff.
It's like a Mire play.
Yeah.
Checkerboard with it. He might also just be going into Desert here instead. Might be Checkerboard, Desert, Mire is the order that we're probably gonna see.
The only thing about this play is, like, without a fire source, coming to this area is kind of unideal, since you know you need a fire source to complete Desert.
Yeah, though I feel like the sad part too is the odds are the fire source could still just be sitting in Sahashala's hut. We haven't been there yet.
Mm-hmm. Still looking for that bow too. Looks like Mikan is going to go ahead and dip into Desert and see what he can find. Left side Swamp having 100 rupees. Let's see what the other item is. And a big 5. That's unideal. Yeah. Oh, nice little bonk.
Hey, required.
Boots are officially in. And Spooty still has to go back to activate his flute before he can head to the Mire area and check that stuff.
Yeah,
Dude,
although I don't think
what if
Desert without the mirror check, so I think he'll be fine.
What if there is a fire source in here? That'd be perfect.
So that's pretty unlikely now. We're down to one item.
Well, now that we know that, we haven't actually needed lamp yet at all. It's like, alright, is it like later in the seed, or was it like early in the seed, like Sahasrara or something?
Yeah, it could really be anywhere. That's the tough part about not finding lamp, is even if you haven't checked all of the starting area, you're kind of sitting there going, well, it could have been Sahasrara, but I made it this far, so maybe it's just not there. Maybe there's nothing there and I don't need to ever check it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe my opponent checked it, and if I expect my go mode item to be there, I'm already behind.
Right, coming up, we got the 2 popular spots in Swamp House. We got a big key, and we got the lamp. There it is.
Figured it out. This probably helps Spooty a lot, because no fire source still, and we've got a lot of options that require a fire source left.
Mikan, what are you doing?
There's no fire rod though.
Mikan?
This is
Mikan?
This is a mistake. This is a mirror. He
Oh,
menued.
I'm surprised you
As
didn't
if-
realize.
He might have been checking. Oh, okay, he did.
Okay.
He just didn't stop his dash. For a second, I thought he had just checked the items in the dungeon. Not going to Meyer, so we're gonna go probably see a swamp check, maybe Bombos as well.
Yeah, Myra's a bit of a gamble at this point, especially as well without a fire source.
Yeah,
that-
there's so
that
little
takes
you
out-
can do.
It takes out 2 of the chest.
Two and usually one of those 2 is a big key or something useful.
Man, so unless Argus is holding on to something, this Swamp Palace is kinda, I don't know. Lamp is great. Now, if it's one of those scenarios where Lamp leads to Fire Rod, then that'd be a pretty big deal.
Yeah, that's the one scenario that you really want to see, because generally you just want to find the fire rod, not find the lamp, so you can just be done with it.
Have either player turned in the mushroom yet?
I don't believe so.
Alright.
We got a lot of early stuff that we had available 5 minutes in, just waiting around.
Ugh. This Argus fight with only Master Sword is such a pain in the butt.
Yeah, there's an interesting, it's kind of like the quick kill you can do with Tempered. You can do that with the Master Sword, but it just takes double the hooks. It's still really smooth and fast, but it's not a 0 cycle.
I still
it's
prefer
also really
the
hard to do.
sword charge to double hook, like you hook 2 of the
Yeah.
puffs and then spin to take them out, which also works with Fighter Sword.
That's my default because it's just way easier. The other method is so hard to do. You got to time it really well.
Just the hook shotting and double slash is so slow. Now I missed it. Did we get the other item in desert, or is there one on land malls? I didn't see what was in the vanilla big key chest.
I didn't either, unfortunately.
Alright, we'll see if Spooty decides to check Bombo's tablet after this, and it looks like that's the way he's going. And the next question is, will he route in the Agnes check? The thing is, like, even after all that, I don't know. I'm surprised we haven't found more stuff. So the question is, where's all the things?
Well, we
What
got,
do we got?
6 locations near Eastern, counting Eastern and Social combined. We've got the mushroom to turn in. We've got pod that is probably not bow locked based on the way this is going.
Mm-hmm.
And then we don't have access to T-Rock, but we do have access to Myers. There's 2 in Meyer, maybe, probably. Well, we do have the lamp, so yeah, all of Myers available now. So we've got
Gross.
2 from Myers, 6 from the Eastern area, 1 from Mushroom, potentially 4 or 5 from Pod. Kind of hard to say what we have access to. Could even just be 0.
Very well could be. I'm waiting for, like, Fire Rod to just be sitting in the back of Sahasrala's hut.
Yep. Hey, you could have gone to Ice Palace a long time ago and gotten that bow that's probably in there.
Yeah, well, Spooty gonna go activate his flute, and more than likely gonna go head straight to the Meyer area, where he'll find his boots, and he's gonna be thinking, "Oh man, I could have had these a while ago."
Yeah. At least he can clear desert while he's there.
Yeah. So for Mikan, it'll be, depend on if Meyer ends up like being a play, it'll be a triple dip into that area.
Yeah, and that's really fortunate for Spooty because of how I think Mikan's had the boots for now 20 minutes on Spooty, which is a large margin of time gain. But the mistake in desert, it wasn't a long one, but it was enough to give Spooty a little bit of a ticket.
Yeah, well, just checking desert without a fire source is kind of eh.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. You can find what you're looking for in the dungeon.
Never.
You need it. It happens a lot.
Yeah, he didn't really feel like he had a choice, I'd imagine, with what he has open to him. Although I'm starting to wonder if they completely forgot about Sahasra, because coming up on the hour mark.
It's hard to route in, because every time you go over there... But the thing is, like, if you make that play, then you feel like you have to make the Eastern play, too.
Yeah, which as I mentioned before, it's a pendant, so I'd feel comfortable with that. But I'm sure a lot of people, especially when they've made it this far, they're on the mindset of if you don't have to do the pendant dungeon, it's going to save you the most time, so don't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure Spooty's gonna go ahead and finish out or do all of Desert Palace, so we'll be able to see if that second item was in fact on the right side or if it's on Landmola's. And if that lamp ends up leading to the fire rod or bow or something, then it's gonna be more than just a light source in this seed.
Yeah, and as mentioned by our tracker, Eastern stuff is actually going to be pretty well routed in with the pod. Now that they have mirrors, so that's actually a really good setup coming up, probably.
Mm-hmm. Last resort, pretty much.
Yeah, you don't want to go to pod without the bow, but there's so much there right now. This is upwards of 10, 11 items.
Flute to 5, go into the Dark World, mirror to check Sahasrara, go back into the mirror, and then you got to make sure that your iframes with the mirror runs out before you leave that area, otherwise Kiki won't follow you. It happens so often.
Yeah, I just step out and back in, but I imagine it's the same thing.
Yeah, there are a lot of items potentially over in that area. Alright, so both players kind of just finishing up what the other player started, or had already done.
Some of our information from Desert here that we missed.
Pretty sure it was a map or something. Could be wrong.
Yeah, so there's an item on Landmola's. That might have been why Mikan was so interested in going up.
Yeah. If you're one of these players, I feel like both these players could be feeling behind right now. Spooty for the late boots and Mikan for making that desert trip that didn't amount to anything.
Yeah,
it's really
2 crystals
easy.
at about an hour. That's not a good feeling for Mikan.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Well, he'll have 3 actually by the hour mark.
Let's see if Mikan utilizes the spin tactics on Argus. Oh, looked like I think he was trying to go for that thing you were talking about. Maybe. Or maybe
Very difficult to pull off.
Maybe he just missed the slash and got bopped. Yeah, I'm surprised. There's always a sword in Swamp Palace.
See, I've been saying that a lot, but I realize now that if that was a V28 thing, that doesn't happen anymore.
It's over.
It's just over. Same with my Mitts and Pod. That's done as well. Ooh, we get some Ice Rod on both screens.
Oh, baby. Totally worth it! That was really good.
It actually helped both fights go really quick, so...
Wow.
Ice Rod's, it's not always useless. It's not just for freezing a weird turtle chimera thing. I don't really know what Trinex is supposed to be.
He's got 3 necks. Well, fortunately for Mikan, Landmole is only holding a hurt piece, so both items in... Oh, Mikan's gonna go back to check the big chest. Both items in Desert Palace were just hurt pieces. Spooty gonna probably check checkerboard and then head on out of here.
Someone better check Meyer.
I
mean... Getting a little antsy over here.
Meyer's looking a little bit better when you have the lamp, but...
Yeah.
Chest...
It's not good.
The amount of chest over in East Palace was so much higher.
Yeah, there's just a large chunk of stuff waiting over in the East Palace area.
And especially if Sahasrara ends up having something, you gotta be feeling like, ah, oh, crap.
Especially if it's the bow, because that would just change the seed entirely if you wasted a bow just sitting around over there.
Alright, well...
Down the crystal.
Spooty making the big play into Meyer. He's probably feeling especially behind with the late boots that he's got to start making these plays, or it's just a good educated, calculated risk.
Nearby.
I'm here, might as well do it.
Yeah,
so that's
gonna be the large divergence here now. With basically the 2 remaining big density areas being checked at the same time. I guess I shouldn't call Meyer a big density area.
So yeah, that's a nice thing for Spooty. He was able to do all this stuff in one go while Mikan, went to desert without the mirror, and then or went to mire without the mirror, then came back with the mirror to check checkerboard and dip into desert without the lamp. So, bit of a time save here. What do we got at Saha's Rebel's hut? It is lots of love and money. So I'd say for both these players, when they check that, it's going to be a sigh of relief. Good, this wasn't something required, and I'm an idiot for putting it off for forever.
Yeah.
It's like, it'd be great if I have this item now, but if it's here, then that's bad.
Yeah, oftentimes, too, when you get this far into the seed and you haven't hit a roadblock, you're kind of just thinking, well, it couldn't have possibly been there. There's no way that I'd have this much open to me without this, roadblocking me earlier. That's a bad mindset to have sometimes. It's never actually the way it works.
Man, I'm hoping for... I'm expecting something in Mire. Like, it just seems like the right play. Like, why would they give you Ether if you didn't have to dip into Mire?
Yeah, I almost want to bowlock pod here just so that it's... Okay, so it's not, which means there is just so much waiting here. 3 in Eastern, 4 or 5 in the pod area.
And, Mikan does have a potion, so if he wants to glitch it up and check the right side without the bow, he can.
Yeah, and he also has a mushroom that he should probably turn in at some point. They have
he probably should.
I bet it's going to be that the whole time. It's just like a bow just waiting there. Or I think the fire rod would be more interesting, actually, because they've been sourceless for a long time. They got the lamp in swamp. That might have been a huge change in this race.
Alright, fire rod is behind these torches right here. That would be pretty ridiculous. Be a pretty good play, too. Palace of Keys, basically.
Yeah, we're gonna take a while before we find anything, because that's just how this dungeon works. Yeah, the very front-loaded keys, just to make sure that you can't soft lock at all, which I personally think is better than soft lock, so let's keep it that way.
Well, there's one item. There's the 5 rupee. That's not what you want to see at all. Yeah, this would be a pretty big deficit. If Bo ends up being in pod, Mikan will obviously take a tremendous lead.
You might not even ever have to go to Mire.
If Fire Rod ends up being in Mire, then that's nice, but that's not like... I don't know, well... The thing is, like, if you find Fire Rod and then you go to pod and find the bow, then you'll be able to, like, skip a good portion of pod.
Yeah.
The potential pod go mode. It's very small, but it is possible.
I think Spooty's nightmare would be a Bombos tab or medallion right now.
Yeah. Alright, well, I don't know if Mikan has the big key, but it's either going to be on that right side or it's going to be here in the dark maze. But regardless, he's going to... Right side dark. Going to have a small key. And it looks like Spooty found... What did he find? He found the bow! Oh my god!
That's a huge find.
Oh, wow. I was so busy looking at Mikan, I didn't even see it, so I had to watch the restream. But yeah, bow in the big chest of Mire. So Mikan needs to head there immediately, right now. But that puts Spooty at like, that just made up for all of the late boots play.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, is like, boots are really nice to have because you could route a lot of things much quicker. But they're not like the end-all.
Yeah, and the other thing about waiting so long to come here is all the remaining locations, aside from like the mushroom, is all just clumped up right here. He's gonna get all of it done, which means the next thing he finds will send him to the right direction.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Mikan now, he's gonna be forced to double dip both these dungeons. The one thing he didn't want to do, which is why players like to put off this area for so long, which is, I don't know, man, it's like, if you end up going there anyway without the bow after an hour or so in, then you're like, oh, God, come on, man. Yeah. And then it's not in here, you're like, come on.
The turning point here is probably just when Spooty checked Swamp, because Mikan missing out on that lamp for the first check on the Mire area meant he didn't go into Mire. So he was really late. and he still hasn't really been given the option to clear Mire. So it's never been like a choice of, oh, why didn't you go into Mire? You could have had it. It's just been like there was no reason to. It was a bad idea to go into Mire for Mikan at any point. So he kind of just got bad luck on when he chose to do Swamp.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like, the big key in Mire is locked behind the lamp, so even if he had dipped Mire without the lamp, he would have come up empty-handed. And there's the red mail. Oh, baby. It's so nice.
It's a shiny red bunny.
Still looking for that fire rod at this point. And if it's in here, that'd be pretty bad.
Yeah, it might even just be Armos, I think. There's one item left, I think. Might have been two, I don't know for sure.
So the question is, after this, will Mikan go right back? He'll probably go back, finish Desert before dipping into Mire. But that one play into Mire with the lamp, the huge turning point. And that's the thing is, like, that bow easily could have been in Pod. It easily could have been in Eastern.
Yeah, the odds were over here. Like, such a high item count compared to the Mire area.
But yeah, it's like one of those things where you gotta think, man, if I go and do Pod Eastern and the bow's not there, then I've done all of that for nothing.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it seems like the safe play, but if it isn't the right play, you basically have lost unless your opponent has made the same choice. It's kind of just the nature of Rando, though. Sometimes you're just, is it safe or is it dangerous? And it's really dependent on what your opponent does, but you have zero information on what they're going to do. So it's hard to really play off of that.
Well, I think I'm going to go straight for this Mire play, which will be getting himself his bow. So, you know, he's going to lose a little bit of time, but we still not, until we find that fire rod, you know, it's not over yet. Oh, yeah, Big Key was on the right side. Oh, and Spooty's just going to go straight to the back. I think it's a good play because you're one item away, and if Helmasaur ends up having Fire Rod, then you can just bail and not do any more of Pod. I would do this play.
There's nothing left in the dungeon that'll speed it up, and there's no reason because you have to kill this anyways, so you might as well just knock it out. What's interesting is we still have zero access to Ice Palace, and we know from what Mikan has done that Helmasaur is really the only option aside from Mushroom.
I think Armos has an item as well, so... Mushroom that you said already? No?
Mushroom, Armos, and Helmasaur is the only things I can think of.
Well, we know Pyramid Fairy is already dead at this point.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for that Bombos medallion to pop up somewhere.
Yeah, it's coming. I can see it.
I can feel it.
Can't end it too early.
Oh, and Mikan gonna go check this chest over here. So he needs to go get the big key in the compass room and then go check the big chest. But he'll more than likely... I wonder if he'll do the cutscene chest first.
I'd imagine he'd do that before at least heading over to the big chest, so that's pretty likely.
Nice Helmasaur fight from Spooty, and his prize is a green root.
Boy.
There's the other one.
Can we ask them to run this back and check Mushroom earlier so that if it's the Fire Rod, we get a completely different race? Because this would have been so different.
Yeah, it really would have. Well, yeah, because Mikan would have had the Fire Rod for Desert the first time. Might have been more inclined to go into Mire, etc., etc. Would have finished Skull Woods already.
Yep.
It's interesting, like, how much a single item can, like, completely change a player's route.
It's 1 and 2 of it being on that mushroom right now. As far as we're aware, unless we... Oh, no! We have not checked the graveyard ledge, have we?
No, no, we haven't.
Okay, we're up to 3 again.
We got Arbos Knights, Mushroom, Graveyard ledge. Yeah, I think that's it.
Not much going on. Both players running over what they've done. Mikan's about to find his bow and come all the way back to pod.
There might also be an item in the big chest, since we haven't seen that yet in pod.
That is true.
If that's the fire rod, that's pretty much...
It's guaranteed an item, because Mikan had compass and map on the way into this room as well. So yeah, that's an item as well.
If that's fire rod, then it's pretty much GG at this point.
Yeah, that'll be a nail in the coffin for Mikan.
Alright, moment of truth. This is basically for Mikan's tourney life. If this is the fire rod...
Oof.
$300. Okay. So, it's not over yet. It still could be Armos Night. But here's the thing, like, Mikan has to go back. Oh, he still has to do desert. Alright. So he still has a little bit of time before he heads back over there.
Yeah,
so
although I think
Spooty's still going to have a pretty comfortable lead at this point.
Yeah, I think he's going to be checking the mushroom. Spooty will be checking the mushroom before Mikan. No, Eastern's kind of long, and this is really quick, so never mind. There's a chance that Mikan checks that and then heads over to pod. Well, I feel like they've forgotten about mushroom entirely at this point.
Especially when you get the powder and then it... Well, actually, if you get the mushroom then the powder, I don't think the powder will replace it.
I'm not actually sure how that works.
Okay, I think whatever you get first will stick. Like, I think that's the same with shovel. Like, if you have shovel selected and you find the fluid. Oh no, Mikan has powder in his inventory, so maybe it. Well, no, it's because he used powder in Mire. I don't know, man. We'll find out.
Maybe Spooty will menu for us. Switch to that bow. You know you want to.
Alright. Armos, give us Bombos, please. It'll be funny. Yeah, the thing is, like, Mikan still has to go back, go into the Dark World, walk all the way through the stupid maze, finish pod, because he still has to go get the big key, and he'll more than likely go back in and check the big chest as well. Check mushroom. Do it, it'll be funny. Check mushroom!
No!
No! We want to know!
Alright, Spooty's got a big lead now.
Could you imagine if, like, both players just never check mushroom? Like, completely rule it out?
They both just forfeit. It's like, I'm stuck.
Just sitting there looking at our maps for, like, a good couple minutes.
I would be entertained. The Spooty, I'm pretty sure, has mushroom showing in his menu, so he'll see that pretty quickly when he goes to menu for something.
I mean, that's the thing, it's like, you want to do that stupid fake powder glitch, but...
Yeah, I feel like the issue was that they didn't have flute at the time, because usually you just turn it in right away. That was such a fast menu, I didn't even see if he had powder out.
We'll never know.
It was mushroom. Mushroom wasn't on his menu, so he will probably know.
He knows. He knows. He'll probably do that after Armos. But the thing is, he also still has, like, Bonk Rocks, King's Tomb.
Still got that graveyard ledge.
Still got that graveyard ledge. He could, if he really... If he really wanted to, he could go Village of Outcasts, and then, you know, he could check Rocks on the way to Village of Outcasts, do Graveyard Ledge, do King's Tomb, and then go over and do the Mushroom.
Yeah, he's got a lot of options still. It looks like Spooty's really ahead, but he's kind of just ahead in the dungeon game right now. Mikan has been really on the overworld. I don't know if Mikan or Spooty has ever even checked Pyramid or Catfish.
He hasn't. He hasn't checked either of those.
So he's got a lot of overworld and really long locations to check, which is good for Mikan because we've got Mushroom or Graveyard Ledges, the remaining two options. And those are kind of awkward.
It was a shield at Eastern. I forgot that Eastern was a pendant. Alright. There's a good chance. You know, I completely forgot about that. So, you know, if Mikan finishes off Helma and just doesn't go back in for the big chest and doesn't go check Eastern.
Yeah, he might forget that big chest is the thing entirely, based on the way he's done this so far. I know I've made that mistake before, so it might help him in this one.
The problem is, like, they're running out of item locations, so the chances of them being in those two spots are just extremely high.
I think Mikan is actually just down to the 2 plus Armos. He might not have anything left, because I'm pretty sure he was heavily doing the overworld, whereas Spooty has this Graveyard Ledge, which he's knocking out right now.
Yeah, the nice thing about this route is if he wants to, if he doesn't find anything on Graveyard Ledges, he can head all the way over and do Catfish afterwards.
Yeah, he's got this, he's got the Catfish, he's got Pyramid to kind of sweep the whole area, so this is a good starting point for him for sure. You don't want to walk out of the pod area anyways.
So Mikan needs to just kill Helma and go turn the mushroom. Please go turn the mushroom.
Just turn the mushroom.
Just turn the mushroom. Don't kill Armos.
On a close race.
Don't kill Armos. Don't check the big chest. I don't know, man. This late in the game, you kind of have to start making those stupid gambles, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, you are kind of dragging along here at what's left, but at the same time, it could have been your opponent hasn't done it too, so it's such a risk.
It's not Graveyard Ledge. It's Mushroom, dang it. It's gotta be.
We've got 10-minute in Mushroom Head, Fire Rod, or Bombos.
If it's Bombos, I mean, that's it. Like, it's perfect.
Bombos,
you just go to Ice Palace, Fire Rod in Ice Palace, probably.
Could you imagine how different this would be if they got the Bombos 10 minutes in and actually went into T-Run?
Oh, man. That sounds pretty dumb.
That sounds
Flute to two. Ah, okay. He's gonna go kill Armos. I mean, he's not gonna lose as much time because he's already done everything in this dungeon, so he's just gonna go kill Armos. But with that play, he might actually be just over. He might not go back into pod to check the big chest, or he might have forgot.
Yeah, I imagine he forgot. Spooty's not going to Catfish, which means he also isn't going to be mirroring. I don't know if he remembers that he has Mushroom either.
I think he's going to do Pyramid and then go back up. Maybe?
It's possible. I think it's about the same time.
He might just rule out Catfish entirely and just mirror and then flute to 2 to check Mushroom. Some unorthodox plays from both these players. Yeah, this is looking like the backtrack up.
Definitely. You might have just been hoping go mode here so I don't have to go all the way to Catfish and waste my time, please.
No, I think it's a good idea because backtracking from Catfish to go check Pyramid is terrible.
Yeah.
So I like this play. Honestly, I would...
Here's the mirror, so we get to find out what we've been missing for the last hour and 7 minutes.
I mean, it's here. Something has to be here. Bombos or Fire Rod. Like, one of the two has to be here. We're out of options.
The answer is...
And...
Oh, no!
Yes! Oh, that's incredible.
So, I'm assuming we're going to Ice Palace next, but...
I would assume so,
do you go to T-Rock?
No. No, that's stupid.
Mikan's gonna go to
Here's the thing.
Mikan's gonna feel behind.
What are the odds of the Fire Rod being in the first chest?
Mikan's got the fighter or the mirror shield too. It's the laser broods and logic for him. You know?
He's feeling it.
Head right up there.
Yeah, he needs to go to Mushroom first. Step 1. Like, here's another thing for Mikan is Spooty is checking all these locations, and it looks like Mikan is not going to check the big chest in pod, so he's going to save a little bit of time here. He needs to head straight to 2.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, so this is a lot closer, guys. All of a sudden, everything is just evened up.
Yeah, we're going to have Spooty mirroring to Ice Palace probably right now, and Mikan's going to be about 15 seconds behind.
Oh my gosh, alright. This is huge now. I did not realize how close this... You know, the fact that he had already been into Pod Eastern saved him a good chunk of time, so if they're both going to Ice Palace, they're going to be seconds apart.
Getting big chest helped, and Spooty going all the way to Catfish just to make absolutely sure that Fire Rod isn't just waiting there. This has really helped Mikan stay in this one. And they're both going to ice.
Incredible. I did not even pinpoint how close these players are, so if they follow the exact same route and find Fire Rod in here, like, it's all execution here on out.
Yeah, it's going to be execution and maybe a little bit of GT choices at this point. There's almost nothing left that could really trip them up.
I think I would slightly, just based on how this race is going, give execution the edge to SpootyBiscuit. He's just been playing a little bit more consistently overall than Mikan, but not by much. Wow, same room.
Oh, he didn't know the blind fight script.
Hey, did you hear about the funny joke about blind fight being scripted? It's pretty funny. I mean, honestly, neither of these players have had any real big execution flubs.
Yeah, I can't tell which one's been playing better at all. It's really hard to tell.
I don't even think I've seen any incidental bonks yet either.
Mikan had one that I remember.
Well, never mind. That's GG right there.
You even mentioned it. You said it out loud. Mikan bonked. Just don't remember when it was.
I think you're making stuff up.
No, you actually did. This was a thing.
When was that?
I don't know. I think he was in a dungeon. Might have been Skullwoods. No, it couldn't have been Skullwoods.
He didn't have Woods then.
Somewhere yellow. Maybe it was Death Mountain.
Guess we'll never know. Alright.
It happened.
Dude, this is crazy, man. I can't believe how close this is.
A really quick bomb jump, too, from both players.
Yeah.
Good bomb strat from Spooty.
It's actually quite surprising how consistent it is to get... Ice Palace bomb jump used to be awful, and now it's pretty straightforward. If you've done it like over 100 times, it gets a lot easier.
Yeah, and Mikan used the strat that makes it a guarantee, where you spin to make sure you're at the edge 100% of the time.
God, I love that. Hook shot left or down to get the iframe so that the spike doesn't hit you. Alright, this is big. We got a little bit of a route divergence. Whoever finds Fire Rod first is going to be taking a pretty good lead, and that's going to come down to execution and GT routing. It's
more likely that Spooty's going to find it. There are more chests over here. And it looks like Big Key's going to be over here as well. Ooh. That sword spin strategy is always scary. You feel like you're going to fall every time.
I'm always too afraid to try it.
Yeah, it's hard. Sometimes I find it hard to remember to just make sure your sword is charged as well, because if you don't charge it, you fall.
It's crazy people do it in, like, Tower of Hera, the big chest and whatnot. There's a boomerang! Was
that 2 or 3 items?
What did he get in the spike chest? Or did he skip it?
I think he picked it up, but it might have been a key or something. I don't think it could have been a key, actually.
No, it couldn't have been. I'm surprised Mikan skipping that chest initially, because if Fire Rod's sitting right there, then that's it. Like, you can just skip this whole section here. Alright, well, we still have big chest, we have the stupid iced tea room.
It's gonna be cold or big chest. Spooty is right about to find out where that last item is. Is it right here? It is, and we're in go mode.
Wow.
T-Rock has been avoided.
123, 36 or something. SpootyBiscuit is our first player into go mode, but Mikan only a few seconds behind. So yeah, it's going to come down to execution and G-Tower routing if these players decide to do some wacky GT routing to take a huge lead. This is incredible. I was not expecting this to come down to how close this was, especially with the amount of double dips that Mikan did. He did save a lot of time not checking that big chest and pod.
Yeah. It's helped them a lot for sure. And he's going to be a bit behind here. I think it's going to be about 25 seconds. Spooty fell at 03. You'll have to see what Mikan does to black on his screen.
And half magic, fire rod, bombos, easy. Easiest boss in the world.
31 seconds behind.
Mikan not going for bombos here.
Yeah, half magic fire rod seems pretty free.
Yeah. Save a little bit of time. I'm missing quite a few of these fire rod shots. And
yeah.
Oh gosh, they're like threading the needle. He's gonna go ahead and use his green potion. He just wants to get this fight over with as quickly as possible. Spooty gonna be heading over to Skull Woods to get that crystal, and then that will be the last one heading into back up to Death Mountain to go do Ganon's Tower. Yep. So, you know, win or lose, whoever takes this one, this was a really good race.
Oh yeah, this is.
You know, it had to be, you know, Spooty checking Catfish, checking Pyramid, checking Graveyard Ledge. All that stuff kind of added up, and it allowed Mikan to kind of catch back up. So
yeah, and it really didn't look good for him at the start when you didn't have boots for all of Death Mountain, but it really came back for him.
That's the thing, you can't really rule out any player until they hit go mode, like ever.
Yeah,
because all the stuff you skip at the beginning of the game, as soon as you go back to check them later, that advantage is lost.
Oof, so that's going to cost a lot of time for Spooty.
He still got the key, though. But yeah, that's unfortunate. Did he bonk or something?
I think he got hit by the beetle back into it.
Oh, dang. That sucks. Right, well. Oh, because stupid. I hate those skulls. These things are the worst. On the sideways fire rod shot. Right. I mean, the other thing is, this could still come down to if a player checks an extra chest and finds the tempered sword too.
Yep.
It's not over, man. Good. No, that was good damage worth taking. You don't want to have sword beams going into Mothula, I don't think.
Yeah, Mikan's catching up. 26-second difference on entering Skull here.
Just cleaning house.
You got the half magic and the fire rod, and this is going to be no problem for either player.
Spooty going all in on just fire rod shots. Almost out of magic, and now got to finish it out with spins, or he wants to be fancy and switch to the hammer. But
he's really not cooperating with him, though.
Yeah, Mothula being a bit of a jerk. And he goes down 127-28.
Good opening spin for Mikan, but Moth kind of hugging the spikes now.
Yeah, you also got to be a little bit careful not to shoot him with the fire rod too quickly, otherwise the second one doesn't connect. Both players having a little bit of trouble on this boss. I mean, you got to be feeling a little nervous with that ice rod location, especially with how late that Bombos medallion was.
Yeah, Mikan's really rushing it. It's costing him a lot of hits, unfortunately. The hammer hit, though, that counted.
Oh, but just barely bounced to the right. There we go. I think Mikan lost quite a bit of time in this fight.
Yeah, he's substantially behind from where he was when he entered the dungeon.
Oh, right. Guessing game. Hey, guys. What's up? So we got 22 chests coming up. One of those chests is going to be the big key that we need to get to the top of Ganon's Tower to finish the game. Which one do you think is going to be in? Futon, what are you thinking?
Thinking the way this seed has been going, it's going to look like you go left side, but really it's actually right.
I would, with that fire rod location, I would totally put it on the right side. And then get bamboozled by it not being there because it's actually after Ice Armos. It's actually vanilla.
Be no keys on the left, right side.
No keys on the left?
Nope. Could make you go left, I mean.
Oh, okay. So the two chests on the right are going to be both junk items. Now the question is, like, if you're Team Mikan, are you hoping for a route divergence in GT? Well, I mean, obviously that would make the most sense. Sorry, that was a dumb question. I don't know, like, does Spooty have a big enough lead at this point that if Big Key is like in the first chest, like, is it basically over? Who's gonna have the better gauntlet?
Close.
Who's gonna take a Moldorm fall? It
Got Spooty entering at 50.
It still could come down to a sword upgrade.
That's true, depending on how often. If they go different directions, depends on who gets the sword, and if they get the big key early, depends on who takes that one more chest flick. We're going right.
A small key, we are going right. So you said 50, so 30 seconds. It's going to be about 40 seconds difference.
Yeah. Lost a fair amount of time on that.
Yeah.
So that's a 43 different second difference, and he was only 26 behind when he was entering Skullwoods at the time. So that's 17 seconds lost to Moth, and other stuff, of course.
Mikan thinking he had the hookshot out was trying to hookshot to the chest, and right side is a bust. So both players make the same play. You know, it'd be easy to think, oh man, this fire rod was so late, it's got to be on the right side. I mean, it's just like in my race where the fire rod was not required, and I actually grabbed it on the way to GT, and I was like, it's got to be on the right side, right? And it wasn't. Come on.
Well,
the bamboozles. Small key on the torch. Gonna keep moving. Switching to flute. A few seconds lost there. I don't anticipate Mikan going for, like, the full right gamble.
That's a tough call to make, although...
You gotta be feeling super behind if you're gonna go for that.
Yeah. I can't imagine feeling too behind at the time that they currently have, but... with the way the seed went, I could still feel behind, because you never went into T-Rock at all. And you double-dipped, like, Mire. Well, you didn't double-dip Mire, but you dipped the area, like, 3 times, and you had to go back into Pod and Eastern. It's kind of rough.
Yeah.
I'd feel behind even at this time.
Alright, it's not in the Stalfos room. It's not in the double fire bar room. We're still going.
We're 50-50 on going full right actually paying off. So there are 4 chests before Bob and 4 chests after that remain. Well, there goes any chance of a sword making a difference.
Well, that's kind of convenient. Both players will be getting that regardless.
Yep.
So, both players going to be happy to find that. Not that Master Sword Ganon, Master Sword Silver Ganon isn't that bad, especially as I said earlier when you have Cape and have Magic, but...
This just basically ensures the entire race will be execution at this point. There's no someone checks a chest and gets a Tempered Sword while the others run on Master.
Oh man, still going. So it could still be Bob's chest, could be Ice Armos, or it could be that lovable tile room. But
yeah, there is
based
tile room.
on
I forgot to count that.
How this is going, it looks like both players are going to be following the exact same route. So Spooty's going to just keep retaining that lead. So it's going to take a few flubs for Mikan to catch up at this point. Mikan has also been having a few errors through GT, losing time along the way.
Yeah, attract Spooty transitioning to the big room at 24. We'll see when Mikan goes in there. Very nice Ice Armos, pretty easy though, with the silvers.
Don't think he missed a single arrow in that fight. Yeah. There it is on the left side, so that would be chest 20 or 19?
20.
No, 20. Chest number 20. Not bad. All right, Spooty, first one to head up the gauntlet. pretty sizable lead now. I'd say it's at least at a minute now.
Just short. It's about 52 seconds, I think.
Okay.
So he is gaining
The only thing is,
pretty consistent time.
well, Mikan doing the exact same thing, so both players are going to be pretty short on magic, and we know Mikan already used his green potion.
And they both have a ton of arrows and bombs, so there's never going to be an ammo issue. Spooty opting to fall to get the iframes to make dashing through this room just smooth.
Yeah, I think when you have that much health, it's just faster to do it that way. Unless you know, like, the timing to dash through without hitting it in the cannonballs.
Yeah. I never actually could figure out if it's RNG based or if it's just there's a one pixel alignment that lets you just dash right through cleanly.
Yeah, I don't know. I see people do it, I'm like, how did you do that? And they're like, eh.
Yeah, I think Andy says there's it's like kind of a setup, but it's not 100%. You still have to be paying attention for the RNG. I could be wrong though.
Alright, so let's see how this Land Moles 2 fight goes for Spooty. He does have the silvers, so could be a very quick one cycle.
Yeah.
He gets the
He's
timing
not
right.
fought it with silvers yet because he had to do it with ice.
Very clean. Very nice. Especially doing it from the right side as opposed to staying in the middle.
Yep. The middle can be a little awkward with the fireball shooting at you.
Overall, Spooty having a little bit cleaner of a Ganon's Tower over Mikan. Which, you know, at this point, every second counts.
Yeah, and the seconds are adding up for Mikan right now, putting them farther and farther behind.
Nice that he was able to get that last blue, whatever the heck they're called, before he was able to walk away up to the top left screen. Oh, shot the fireball. Neat. Ooh, just barely goes too far to the left.
Yeah, that's not a good outcome either.
I know all the bosses have the same RNG for both players, but do those bosses also have the same RNG?
I'm not
for your
sure,
first
actually.
visit? Because, I mean, it doesn't seem like it treats it like a boss at this point any longer.
Yeah, choose a little bit of room for Mikan, but that it probably won't make a difference because Spooty is good and has a tempered sword, so I doubt he's going to be in trouble. But he didn't check the chest, which means Mikan could get like a gold sword and Spooty could mess up the Ganon fight, but that still requires Spooty to mess up the Ganon fight. Ooh, poke damage. There's a fast mold arm.
He's awake now. Oh, jeez.
Yep. Oh no! Okay.
Oh, man. He actually got hit but didn't fall. That was really
That was an
close.
epic battle.
Okay, well. Coming down to the last two battles, we got Aga 2 coming up. Bit of trajectory. Gonna be seeing what kind of setups we get. But this will be fixed for both players, so just a matter of spins or swing, or yeah, spins or slashes. I still don't know what the preferred style is for taking on Aga 2.
I think I've learned from watching some of the top-end players that slashes are typically always better. Like in that scenario, you definitely want to slash, but spins are good if they're coming at the same exact angle, because then you can hit them all without worrying about timing your slash. So I think spins are more designed for this kind of, not even there actually, but when they're all on top of each other. Like right here is a good time for a spin.
Nice triple to finish it off, making up for that 0 he got in the first phase. And
Yep.
Mikan having a bit of a struggle with the boulder orb, almost falling too. You just gotta chalk that up to turning nerves. You're this close and there's still no dot done, assuming you're looking at the SRTV channel. You're like, okay, I can do this, I could do this, but this is looking like it's gonna come down to, it's gonna be a fanfare snipe, or just like barely.
Yeah, he did catch up a little bit, but he needs to get a good Aga.
Only got one at least.
He may not feel good about that one, but it's still more than Spooty got, although not getting a 2 here kind of puts him back on even ground. It's a better alignment here than Spooty had, so he still just needs the 2 here, and it's pretty free, so as long as he doesn't mess it up.
Yeah, both players getting a 4 cycle, so no time saved.
Actually, it might have saved him a little bit of time, because he hit him with the second ball instead of the third ball in that phase, so he might have saved about like half a second or a full second.
And Spooty getting a very comfortable top right position for Gan in phase 2 to get all the quick and easy spins in. He's just got 4 hits left on Ganon, but to put him into phase 4, and then 4 silver arrows to put him down.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Mikan right now. Well, it's not really about how Mikan plays anymore. It's about Spooty at this point.
This is Spooty's race to lose at this point. But hey, here's the thing. Both players make it into the Ganon fight at the same time. It feels good regardless.
Yeah, not sniped by the initial arrow, which means Spooty's pretty much safe. We know where he's going to land at this teleport as well. So he just needs 2 more hits, and it's not going to be a double here, so he's got to light the lamp one more time. And this will be the last.
And that's going to do it. Wow.
Not falling off before the fanfare, so Spooty's pretty much got this in the bag.
What an incredible race that really just came down to the wire. That's the kind of stuff that I like to see in a randomizer, you know. These players have all these different crazy routes throughout the entire match, and then they end up hitting go mode roughly around the same time with the same amount of stuff left to do. And then it just kind of ends up being like a execution game. Though, of course, a different GT routing could have played out if one of the players had gone full right or something. But that's such a hard play to make, because that's like a win or lose situation. But
yeah.
I don't know, it's a tough call, especially if you're like Mikan, where you're already down a game. Do you make the crazier plays in hopes that, you know, you can get an edge, or do you just kind of do your normal stuff and hope that that's enough?
Yeah, I definitely feel that gambling a little sooner would have definitely been a help, and checking the mushroom, but it was
yeah, I mean, but still, even if you had checked the mushroom and got bombos, we might have seen like a dip into T-Rock or something.
Yeah. And you would have been far less likely to go to Meyer, so you probably would have full cleared everything like that ahead of time, maybe even gotten to T-Rock fully before you go to Meyer to begin with, so it really might not have saved them any time at all.
But yeah, GG's to both these players, finishing Spooty finishing with official time of 1:40.51, Mikan finishing less than a minute later at a 1:41.43. So regardless of the outcome and who moves forward, that's still a very close match. And despite not being able to send it to Game 3, you got to be feeling good about yourself that you kept it close. There's a lot of really good players in this bracket stage. So even keeping it close, especially in a randomizer where anything can happen, you take what you can get. But we're going to go ahead and get these players in here as soon as they're ready, and we'll give them a good talking to. I don't know. I don't really have any good questions other than that mushroom play.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything, and I guess holding off on Sahashala for so long, but it didn't even have anything important, so it really didn't have an impact.
I mean, that's the thing, is had they checked mushroom earlier, they would have got bombos, potentially even before they went up to Death Mountain, so someone might have dove into T-Rock at the time. But, you know, they had everything. As soon as they went to Hype Cave, got Hammer, you know, they had everything they needed to do Ice Palace right then and there once they got the mushroom turned in and gotten bombos. So they could have had Fire Rod early, and we could have skipped getting that lamp entirely. Yeah.
Although at the same time, they would have had Fire Rod, had Ice Rod, and might have gone all the way to Trinex.
Yeah, that's true. Ugh. That green pendant, you never know. Yeah, with that, SpootyBiscuit is now 2-0. Taking the set, we'll be moving on to take on someone 325. In the round of 64. So, and Mikan will be finishing out his tournament with a record of 5-4, making it into the bracket stages with a 5-2. Not able to get a win, but still a remarkable feat, especially with this tournament starting with, you know, over 500 players. To be amongst the top 128 means you got to be doing something, right?
Yeah, definitely. And with the way the tournament was set up too, it's really hard to just set yourself as I'm a top 128, because it's very possible either of these players could have gone further, and it's really hard to tell in general where you line up in Randomizer.
Yeah, of course.
That's good being here.
And at the same time, like, all the players that went 4-3 and didn't make it into the next stage could have easily have won one of their matches. Yeah. It could have easily swung in one other way. We had a lot of races that came down to, you know, 4-second differences or more. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And generally, what we're going for here is don't let the I made it to top 128 limit you. Every single player probably could have pushed farther if they got things their way, if they didn't get bad luck at some point. So it's like you can't let that number dictate where you were. So you're top 128, but it feels great, and you probably feel happy with that. But next time, hell, there's nothing stopping you from going further.
And it's also worth noting, you know, the fact that brackets were seeded randomly. So there's a lot of matches where two players that, you know, performed really well in the Swiss, you know, shouldn't be playing each other based on, you know, some unfortunate first round like matchups where, you know, two really, really good players that could easily, both of them go far in the tournament, have to knock each other out in the first round. And these two are really, really good players. So I don't know what the plan is, so we're just gonna kind of chill. I think maybe someone fell asleep at the wheel.
I'm being informed that Spooty needs a link.
I guess I can invite him.
Come on, admin.
Hold on, I gotta log in on my admin account. I mean, do we really want to interview these guys? Like, can we be real for a second? No. All right, hold on.
They didn't make it top 16, so I don't know why we.
Yeah, they're not. They haven't earned it yet. Click, click, click. Invite. All right, I sent them invites. They should be here any second.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Get to make fun of them. All seriousness, though, they did real well for that seed. Like, that was a quick time, considering. I mean, sure, you could have gotten Bombos and maybe gotten a little bit lucky on the routing to do it a lot faster, but with the way that they made their choices, that was still pretty quick for the loops that they had to go through.
Yeah. I mean, they were able to save time by never touching T-Rock and, you know, not having to actually finish Meyer, but still very good time for basically full clear in the overworld. And we do have our players in here. Welcome, Mikan and Spooty. How you guys feeling after that one?
What up?
What up?
Right. Pretty good. Glad it could be such a close race.
Yeah, it was pretty remarkable. You guys both had similar routings, but like slightly different. Mikan with like 100 double dips, basically.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And Spooty, you know, getting the boots like 20 minutes later, but you know, going to the Meyer area, desert area with the lamp already in hand, so having to do that all in one go, dipping Meyer early and getting the bow before going to Pod Eastern. But the crazy thing is, despite all that, you guys still ended up being like roughly 30 seconds apart going into Ice Palace. Actually, even less, I think.
Oh, jeez.
It was really close. And then from there on, it just came down to, you know, a couple checks in routing in Ice Palace and then just execution here on out, because you guys did the exact same route in GT. And, yeah. So I don't know if that's... When it comes to racing this game, is that the kind of game style that you want it to come down to? Just execution at the end? Like, you guys had the exact same collection rate.
Did we really?
Oh, really, we did.
Literally the exact same amount.
That's not surprising, honestly, considering, you know, we were talking in the race channel, and it sounded like we both found Bombos like pretty much dead last. And
it's pretty ridiculous for how early that mushroom was, but you know, you put it off so you could do the fake powder, and then you just kind of put it off forever, especially with the later flute, I guess.
I even had flute fairly quickly, I thought. I feel like I got the flute super quick, so that even makes the late shroom kind of a little more funny, I guess.
mean, if Shroom had immediately led to Fire Rod, then that would have been huge. The fact that it was Bombos, like,
Was not as fun.
yeah. Because here's the thing: if you guys had gotten that sooner, there, especially with that Ice Rod in hand, you might have dipped into T-Rock at least briskly, depending on how the items laid out. If there was a key in the first chest or not.
That's how I kept myself from just kind of like mentally going to Tanner's. I'm like, it's okay. He got Bombus way before you, and that meant he checked Turtle Rock and is like still in there, like making it all the way to Laser Bridge without Fire Rod, or something like that.
Yeah,
that's how I kind of kept myself together. Like,
I would have done that. I probably would have done that.
I mean,
I would have done that. Like,
Yeah.
if I found Bombus first.
We were talking about, because like if Fire Rod had actually been at Mushroom, this seed would have played completely different. There would have been so many differences, because a lot of the limitations you guys had were lack of a fire source, and that lamp being in stupid Swamp Palace actually played a big part, allowing you to get the bow in, because the big key in Mire was locked behind lamp, so it was a pretty big deal. And I'm sure the lack of a lamp was what kept you out of going into Mire originally, Mikan, when you were over there.
Yeah,
Also,
as soon as
a bad play.
As soon as I got it, I wanted to go to Mire. Not even gonna lie. I was thinking that, I just really wanted to go there. It's a nice place, and I just really wanted to avoid the double dip. But there's so many fire or lamp locked, dark rooms, I guess, chests in the pod, and I guess the single one in Eastern really pushed me over there first instead of in Mire.
No, it's a hard play to make at that point. It's like, all right, 2 chests in Mire, item could be on Vitreous, and I don't have the bow. That's not a fun fight, especially with only Master Sword. And yeah, you want to avoid that double dip of Pod and Eastern. Fortunately, in this scenario, how it played out was like you dipped Pod and Eastern, you did all that stuff, and then you went to Mire, blah blah blah. After Spooty was done with, he full cleared all of Pod and Eastern, went back for the big chest, which had 300 rupees in Pod, and then he went the whole Dark World, Village of Outcasts, Bonk Rocks, Graveyard Ledge, King's Tomb, Mushroom, or no, King's Tomb, Pyramid, Mushroom, Catfish, in that order, which was what allowed you guys to kind of catch back up. So a lot of extra overworld checks, all the stuff that you did earlier, Mikan, Spooty did very late, which kind of allowed it to keep it close. So.
Yeah.
The reason...
I'm glad I dipped the early Mire, though. Kind of was like, well, I'm here, I can go in, and Pendant Mire treated me pretty well last race, so let's go 2 for 2, and yeah, it worked out well.
Let's see. I don't really. Futon, do you have any other questions? I don't really have it. Like, this was a pretty straightforward race. It was,
Yeah, it was. I can't think of anything because it was kind of like the standard.
I have a bit of advice for everyone. So when you get an item that can stun enemies, check your stun drop before you spend like a full minute farming the cape.
No, that was funny. We were like, is he going to Agnes Cape? No, he's going to farm rupees. Then we see over on Mikan's screen, he's just hookshotting everything and getting big 20s like a madman.
That was fun. I got a lot of cash and got hit a bunch too, but I had the blue mail, so it was fun.
Yeah, Mikan went for like the early Catfish check and Pyramid check the first time he made his trip down to High Cave, which unfortunately led to nothing. And while Spooty got to do that with the boots, which sped that up a little bit. It's a tough play to make. It's like, I just got the hammer, so I can do this even more conveniently. If I don't do this now, and especially with where the Pyramid Fairy Crystals were, it's like, I don't know when I'm going to ever check these, so...
The hammer didn't like really unlock anything for me at that point, so I wasn't... I was really interested in actually going back to check Peg Cave, but I figured since I'm here, there's never going to be a better chance to go up here and check these 2 things.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, overall, really fun race. Glad it came down to the wire. Some back and forth. I think basically once Bombos was acquired, Spooty kind of just took the lead and retained that lead throughout the rest of the run. A G tower difference could have made up some time, but you know, it was cool seeing it come down to execution, and really good execution for both you guys throughout. Except for that blind fight, that was pretty bad.
I think as many dungeons as I double dip, I think I double dip my menuing a lot more. I had a lot of missed menus.
Oh yeah, it's so easy to do. Like, oh, I need this. Oh, I got flute. That's wrong. Let me try that again.
Willard, can you believe that if Zane had checked the right Pyramid Fairy chest first, I would be here winning over you?
Listen, it's not my fault. Wow. Dude, shots fired. You know, we gonna do a grudge match? Is that? We'll talk later.
You should have seen me on last race. There was a point in the early game where I just had to menu from shot to bomb, and I opened and closed it like 4 times without actually moving.
That's impressive. It's the same thing. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to set up hammer jump, and I'm like, all right, I'm lined up. I just need to turn. I need to face right, and like I pause 4 times, and I'm still facing down. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Should be able to get this on playing on console, but you never know. But yeah, GG's to both you guys. Fantastic race, a lot of fun. Had a blast commentating it. Spooty moving on 2-0 to face someone 3-5. How you feeling about that matchup?
Pretty good. Like, I was, pretty anxious about this matchup. A lot of people were. I had people in my chat who were like, "Oh, you got matched up against Mikan. Rip you!" Like. So I mean, that's a pretty good confidence boost to kind of stick it to the naysayers in the chat a little bit. But it's rando. Anything can happen. You can't count anyone out.
Exactly. That's a good point. Well, I wish you best of luck moving on forward to the bracket.
Yeah, GG's to Mikan. It's super fun set. I'm glad we had 2 really close races. It's always much more fun to have those close runs than big blowouts. But
yeah, I'm really happy it wasn't just kind of completely one-sided. I think it worked out pretty well.
I definitely suggest watching this one back. It was worth a watch. Just seeing how 2 different routes still came back together within 30 seconds of each other was pretty. It's pretty great. I enjoyed it. Thank you all for hanging out, for watching. Thank you guys for racing, for putting on a great show. Thank you to my good friend Futon for joining me on commentary. Appreciate it, buddy. All right.
Go to bed,
anyway,
Futon.
Go to bed. And of course, shout out to our tracker, Carissa. Appreciate it. And of course, to all the fine folks at Speed Gaming for putting on this restream, and all the fine folks behind the scenes working on the Link to the Past Randomizer tournament. Shout outs to them. Shout outs to me. Shout outs to you guys all watching. And we got plenty more action going on for the rest of the day. So be sure to stick around and check out some more Rando. My name has been Willow J. Bradley. We'll see you in the next one.
My name is Willow J. Bradley. Thank you.